my name is Kungu Philip. I'm the eldest child of the late Francis Opondo Kungu and Leah Opondo. We are gathered here together as family to remember and celebrate both our parents in a very special way. One may ask why so soon, given that our father only died about 4 months ago. But there is no perfect time. God's time is always the best time to do these sort of things. And also, I think it's good because it is prompted by a rather sad happening in the sense of losing our father. And whenever death occurs, it brings to the fore memories of the times we had with the deceased. So it's an appropriate time. We are also doing it for people to get to know our parents a little bit better from our own perspective than the outsider's perspective as their children. So that's why we are here and we are gathered as family. It's an idea that has mooted by my own sisters, and I think it's a good idea that we should meet and we should do this for their sake. I think it is important also to put things in the correct perspective. Even though it is our dad who only recently died, we should not lose memory of our loving mother, Leah, who died in 1992. That's almost 32 years ago. And while it is the one of our father that is fresh in our minds, the memories of the life of our mother still lingers very, very much in our own minds. And I think it's a good tribute to do this for them. One of the things that shocked or surprised most of us is that our mother died when she was very young. She was only 54. And all the 5 of her children, who are all still alive, have lived longer than that. So when on reflection, we then realized that we actually lost our mother when she was at the prime of her age. But be that as it may, we want to use this opportunity to remember them.
My name is Melchizedek Odhiambo Opondo. I'm the second born son to the late Mama Leah and Mzee Francis Opondo. The memories I have, I can start with our late mother. Our mother was somebody, for those who knew her, she was somebody who was extremely humble in life. She loved everybody and was very generous at heart. She's a type of person who would deny herself whatever little she had, but made sure that the next person did not lack the same thing or other things. And she was a person who would empathize with your condition. If you went to her with a particular an issue, a family issue, for instance, she'd take time and listen to you and then offer you advice or even assistant material or financial. She's somebody who believed in family unity, and whenever an issue would arise, she would always strive to make sure she would call maybe a family meeting to brief us, and then let the family members give their views on the same. So she's not somebody who just impose ideas on people, but she believed that whatever a family went through, you needed to speak like in one voice, at least to sort out that particular matter. Another attribute I would remember her for, she was somebody who was extremely clean and neat. I remember when we were growing up, she would get us, the children, to wash the house, polish it, iron our clothes. Yeah, apart from washing maybe dad's car, she really emphasized on cleanliness and neatness for that matter. Yeah. Also, as we were growing up, she made sure we attended the best schools that she could, her and dad could afford to take us to. And she emphasized quite a lot on achieving very high academic standards for her children. So that she was very keen on. Other than that, she was a person who believed in God. She belonged to the SDA faith. And she was very strict about us going to church every Sunday. Okay, for some of the family members actually from other denominations, but she believed that we had to attend church regularly for spiritual nourishment. So that she did not compromise about. And even in her later years, when she retired home, she was very much involved with the church affairs, especially the SDA Ongono Church, which she almost single-handedly founded. Yeah. So religion was very, very important to her, and she believed that that is the only way. That is the only way you could live a righteous life. She invested a lot of time and even material things in bringing up the church, because she believed everybody deserved spiritual nourishment. I'd also just like to mention that when my firstborn son, Austin, was born, I remember when I first went home, soon after Austin was born, I took photographs of Austin when he was still in hospital with the mother. And our late mother was very, very excited, and she was jumping up and about as she was going through the photos which I took to her. It's just a big pity that 3 weeks after Austin was born, now we lost her. So she never really got the chance to see her first grandson from my side, from my family. Now to talk about our late dad. Our late father, Mzee Opondo, as most of you know him or knew him, he was an extremely strict man. And I remember when we were growing up, even during our school days, he was so strict to the level that you'd wonder, why is he so strict? Huh? He wanted things done perfectly and strictly. His yes was yes and no was no. But later on, we came to realize that it was for our own good. Nowadays, when we sit back and realize, yes, he brought us up the correct way. Yeah, there's something he saw that time then which we could not see ourselves. Huh? Secondly, my memories of Mzee Opondo, he was a workaholic. I remember during his working time at Nairobi Hospital, he would go to work, he would report to work by 7 or 7:30. He'd be in the office working. He would come home at 1, have his lunch for about 20 minutes, and immediately leave again back to the office. So that's something I personally think I've taken up after him. I also take my work very seriously, but I think that is the origin of where it came from. And also I remember Mzee Opondo for being a strict timekeeper. He took time very seriously. Like if he told you, let's meet at 9 o'clock, whatever time, at such and such a place, or you come home, 9 o'clock, he'd be waiting for you 10 minutes before then. Yeah? And you'd be very offended if you came even 15 minutes later than that. You're somebody who knew time completely. And also he was a go-getter. He believed in whatever he wanted to achieve. He wanted to achieve it, even if it's for himself or for his children, for his friends. He'd go out of his way to make sure that he realized whatever he was pursuing. Just another thing also, just as I mentioned about our late mother, Mzee Opondo was extremely clean. Yeah? That's also, okay. I'd also say that part I've also taken after him. I also like clean and neat things. But above all, Mzee Opondo really emphasized on high academic standards, especially for his children. He wanted us to achieve the best. Yeah? And that way, I'm sure we have not let him down. It is something which was very dear to him in his heart. Another thing, he also believed that he should give back to society. By virtue of his position, his work position at Nairobi Hospital, through him, a lot of friends and relatives, yeah, got job opportunities to work there. Some, I believe, 1 or 2 are still working up to today, thanks to him, because he wanted everybody to get an opportunity to make it in life. So that way, I'm sure a lot of people will forever remain grateful to him for that.
My name is Mary Adina Ogutha, daughter of Kungu, Mzee Kungu. Sir Francis is my brother. He's my father as well and my friend. I'm the last born in Kungu's family. And so my brother Francis brought me up and I became like his firstborn daughter. What I remember about my brother is a loving person, disciplinarian. He brought me up and all of his children in a way that has benefited me in the life that I live today. He educated me. I recall Philip and I and the rest of us went to Bangati Road Primary School. And he used to come to pick us up, take us home, cook for us when our loving mom, Mama Leah Opondo, had gone to rest with the Lord. After that, when I grew up, they wedded me. I left for my wedding from his house. Mama Leah was instrumental to the extent that after my wedding, when I got my children, she organized in the Luo tradition to come home and visit me officially like my mom. With her friends, she brought everything, including the clothes for my children. Philip, Lydia, Dorothy, Melly, and Betty. I was their firstborn sister. The love that I had in this home, my brother would do anything, would put his life down for me. And I recall that even made a problem when I was to get married. He never wanted to let go because he wanted me to remain in that life. He wanted to be sure that where I'm going, people are going to take care of me.
Nyinga to Joyce Anyango Odondi, Anyar Kungu, Francis Opondo, en owadwa. Francis Opondo, mokwongo agone Nyasaye erokamano kuom losona odiochieng' maber ma kawuononi mondo alosie kuome matin. Francis oritowa. Kapod watindo, kapod atin, mamawa nonindo. To nadong' mana gi mamawa ma min Francis ema noritowa. To Francis noritowa maber, ma ok ne wanyal nenore ni wan kiye. Noritowa gi gik moko te. En ng'ama jahera. Noherowa kaachiel gi minegi. Kata kokelo jaode mama Leah. Leah ne chalo nyamin mare nikech hera mane en go ema ne Leah bende nigo. Leah be kobiro to umo dala te. Ok nopogo ni ma od ng'ane to ma od ng'ane. Nohero dege gi te. Wa an manoyuda ka an odgi kanyo. Nouma. Nohera kaka waigi matin. Omiyo ne wachalo mana nyithinde. Kata kwawuok wadhi tedo, nwang'eyo ni minwa modong' dala ka en Leah. Kwabiro dala ka, kaka meru dirwaki e kaka Leah ne rwakowa. Kidwa wuok idok, ong'eyo ni idwa dok nang'o. Odwa ng'eyo ni to okowi gang'o. Transport midwa dokgo en ming'eyo. Openjo Francis ni to nyameru madhini itimone nang'o. Omiyo heragi noriwo dala ka mangima. Ma ng'ama nyalo wuoyo kata manyalo golo richo moro e kind Francis kod dala ka onge. Berne gi herane ema pod walando nyaka sani.
My name is Leah Achieng'. I'm the eldest daughter to Mzee Francis Opondo Kungu, and I am the third born in the family. My dad was a very loving, a very honest and firm person. And our mom was also equally loving, very polite, and she used to guide us on so many things.
So my name is Dorothy Adhiambo Alford. I'm the fourth child to Mzee Francis and Mama Leah. I'm the second girl. Yeah, so Mama Leah was, what I can remember of her, she was very loving, very kind. She was a no-nonsense woman, but did not come out as, harsh. Yeah, she said what she had to say and she was done. She taught us basic house economics, like housekeeping. At a tender age, we learned how to cook, do our own laundry, and bottom line, she was a very religious person. And then she introduced us to church and she made sure we went to church every Saturday. Oh, St. Francis. I can summarize him as a man of dignity and respect. Again, he was a no-nonsense, but he made it obvious by either disciplining you and he was a very good role model. He would always say, if you have your ears, use them and listen to my advice. A man who liked to encourage, especially when it came to education. He wanted you to excel, partly because I think he did not get that opportunity as a child growing up to go to higher level of education. I remember moments when I was taking my master's program. I would get discouraged because the work was too much. You know, when you feel like you're overwhelmed between full-time employment, being a mom, being a wife, all you had to say is, keep trying, keep trying. You will get there, you will get the rewards later on in life, and it has truly paid off.
My name is Beatrice Ajwang Owiti. I am the last born of Mama Leah and Francis Opondo. My mother had a gentle spirit, soft-spoken. What I remember, Mama was always sitting down. She was a peacemaker, always reading the Word of God. And one thing she always used to encourage me is, Nyathina, lame. So for her, all decisions were based on the Word of God. Any action you are to make, it would be in line with the Word of God. So most of I would say my growing up, early teens and everything, because Mama used to take us to church, mostly me and my sister Dorothy. So she is the one who grounded me in the things of God. I give a lot to her. So Mama died, I think, when I was still new in marriage, and so maybe we didn't have that much time because I was living in Kisumu and she was in Nairobi, but the values, I always remembered, and I would talk to her, and she would always have a kind word. Anything you do, she would tell you, think before you do anything. So that was Mom. Dad, I think I had a more time and more, I think because Mama died and left us, and so Baba is the one I had more in my life. And just as I said, Dad, much as he was a disciplinarian that he really was, there was something special about Dad. Dad always had a listening ear. And he would give you a chance to talk. No matter how foolish you are, he'd give you a chance to say what you think, and then he would give his input as a dad. And most of the times he was right, yeah? Because for us, as we were growing up, we thought he was a bit strict, but when you look at it, he meant well. The kind of strictness he had was because of the love he had for his children, for his family, and Dad was always there. In his later years, I think that's when I would think we acted more, because when now he retired, we would come and sit at home. And Dad was always this cheerful mzee who always had something to say, he would be very reflective. And he was always there to give advice. And he also had asked very prodding questions, wanted to know how are you doing and all that.
I'm called Leah Nyang'oro Opondo, and Francis Opondo Kungu is my dad. My dad's Francis Opondo. I've learned so many things. He taught me so many things, there's some values that he instilled in me. Like he taught me to humble myself, because he knew humility would lead me to go far. And whenever there was a problem, Dad could always tell you to just stay calm and learn to solve things amicably and peacefully, because he loved peace. Yeah, my dad was a loving man, a caring person. To me, he was everything. And I love him even up to now that he is resting. I still love my dad. I wish he could come back again. We share the memories. Like, he was a disciplinarian. Whenever I could go astray, he could lead me on the right path. So today I'm a proud daughter, actually. He taught me also to be a hardworking girl. And I can stand on my own now. My dad did so much that I can't mention. But I'm proud because even as he is resting now, he is resting knowing that I loved him. And I cherished every moment that we shared together. I don't have a mom, but I was not even seeing, as in, that gap. There was no gap actually, because he covered it all. Yeah, dad played both the role of mom and dad.
Okay, my name is Helen, and in the family, I am married to Philip. The year 1987. I would say that Mama Leah was a very, very, very loving lady. She was very patient, very caring. When I got married, through her, I learned how to go to the market to do shopping. She actually took me in person, not once, not twice. Then we came back home and prepared the food, and she taught me her style of cooking because her son needed to eat what he understood. Then, with the time, she also introduced me to women who worked at Nairobi Hospital, Chama, and we had a group, and we went to houses. Self-help. Yeah, self-help. Yeah. So through her, I managed to go to Kibera in Sabah. I'd never been there. It was something, but anyway, we learned how to go there, and I was asking, how am I going to eat here? And but it was a good experience, and we remained friends to date. And then she also taught me. No, she made sure that I had a house here. Okay. Yes, because she said it is important that you have where to sleep when you come home. Then you actually will enjoy coming home, and that is how that house was built. Yeah, and she really supervised. She was there to check that everything was okay until completion. But now after it was completed, now it is Papa who escorted us the other side. Yes. She was just a nice person. I was comfortable with her. And when we went for these meetings, or we met, you feel love around somebody. Our short relationship, she was a good lady. Yeah. There was that love. You know how you are taught love, you are taught patience, listen. That was her. Yeah, and I always say that if you had something to discuss, she was an easier person to approach.
I'm Lydia Mkamburi Odhiambo, mother to Austin, Brian and Clinton, wife to Melchizedek, Felix Odhiambo, Opondo. They are sweet memories of especially my father-in-law. I did not have a lot of time with my mother-in-law. Unfortunately, she passed on when I was just a few, maybe months old in the family. I had a 3 weeks old baby who was Austin Ngwena Odhiambo. And for the short time I met her, she even visited me in the house. I had an opportunity of even preparing a meal for her. She had come, there was some function around, and she was a loving mother. I wish I had more time with her, but her death really shocked me, and I never recovered from it. And for my father-in-law, we had a very good relationship, and he was a loving father. He was like my own dad, especially after I lost my dad. He was like my father, and anytime we would meet, he would always be smiling. Whenever I called him or he called me, he would be asking about his grandchildren, how they are doing, how my mother is doing at home, if I talk to her. And anytime I would tell him they are okay, or my mom is fine, he would be very excited and very happy. Anytime I visited home, he would be very delighted. Unfortunately, he passed on when we still had a lot. We expected to have a lot of time with him. He had visited our home after I lost my dad. He traveled all the way to Taita, despite all the health challenges he had had the previous year. And he was very happy when he received my dad and my mom in November 2015. And it was a very happy reunion. Unfortunately, he did not experience the same because when he visited home, my dad already passed on. But I thank God for the time he had, for the love he showed my children, for the love he showed me. Until the last time when we didn't even say bye. We didn't know he was going, but he went. So there are fond memories of him and the smile and the laughs he had. In 2015, I remember he was in Avenue for about 3 weeks. I was with him in the hospital and taking care of him. He would be always very joyful. After 2 months, he also suffered another complication. He was in Aga Khan. He was always a strong person. Even when he went through the operation of the nose, he was always jovial and happy. And I remember the other time he was admitted in specialist hospital. We were visiting him. Then I hosted him for 2 months in my house. And in the morning, he would always be greeting me with a smile. In the evening, when you come back, he would always be asking you, how was work? And despite all the pain, he would come up very strong and giving you even hope. He had an opportunity to always looking forward to a better tomorrow and encouraging you that life is beautiful and looking forward to many days. And God healed him and he continued praising God and thanking God for life.
So my name is Frederick Otieno Owor, and I'm one of the grandchildren to the late Mzee Francis Opondo Kungu and the late Mama Leah Opondo. So I haven't been around. I had moved to Israel like in 2021 in August to work, me and my younger sister Charmaine. And so I just came back to pay my respects since I wasn't able to attend the burial and, you know, like during Mzee's last lapse. Yeah, so it was very important for me and I felt it dear to my heart that I had to just come and just pay my respects. And this was a perfect time because we were having like a family reunion. So I was seeing my cousins, my aunties, my uncles, you know, my nieces, my nephews. So it was a very, this was very well thought and planned. Yeah. The one thing I would say, and I think all of us grandchildren, even his kids, like our grandfather was he was, I want to say like a fashion icon. And I think he kind of set the way forward for some of us, especially for us guys, because grandfather was the kind of guy, he will wake up in the morning, he will shower, he will have his suit on, he will have his shoes and his hat, and not that he's going anywhere. That's just him. He just liked a comfortable style, very well polished, he was proper, and I think that has been passed down to us because our uncles or aunties are also passed down to us as kids. So you find like we are very particular and we have a keen eye to detail, how our appearance, you know, and I think we learned that a lot from him. And, you know, and I think one of my fondest memories that I'll have, you know, of course, like the last years, because he was growing older, so he used to come back and forth for medication and treatment and stuff like that. So at some point, a few years back, I was able to take care of him when he came to our home in Kibos. So that, I think, was like, you know what? I can look back and say, at least I did my part, you know? And that's the one thing. And he was always appreciative of the smallest gestures. The smallest gestures that lit up his smile. He was so happy. He would storytell. He'd always tell you exactly, you know? So he was like he safeguarded like the family and all the history. So we learned a lot from him. Yeah.
My name is Daniela Areno Cheng. My mother is called Annette Owora. I was born at 2014, 22nd May. He's a loving man. He always takes care of us when we're in trouble. He always calls us or comes direct, and he likes to spoil his great children and grandchildren. I remember that she was happy when I was born. He picked me from Kibos and he was so happy and teary. He prayed for me and worshipped. It was fun actually. I was just excited to see my great grandfather.
You know, these things of legacy, they come about out of two things: the person you are and the kind of life you have lived. And the legacy comes out of a very simple question: what would you like to be remembered for? For my mother, the amazing humility that she had. I have yet to see a more humble person in my life. They may be out there, but I talk about the one I experienced. So for me, that's a great legacy of Mama Leah, that she was humble almost to a fault and self-effacing in many ways. And to my father, a very strong-willed person, a very principled person, a person who valued truth and honesty and integrity in everything that he did or he said. And he always kept on telling us that there are three things one should never entertain. One is that you should always tell the truth. You should be honest with whatever it is that you do. You should not be a person who is full of pride, because pride, as you know, it is said in English that pride comes before a fall. Then I think those for me are the things that I would like to remember them for. And I can say that if you look at those attributes in people's lives, then I can say without fear of contradiction that my father is not dead, my mother is not dead, because what they lived for, what they vouched for in life is timeless. It's timeless. It goes beyond us. It certainly has gone beyond them. It is now with us. It is for us to pass it on to the next generation.
As a legacy, I'd like to just remember her as somebody who wanted the best for everybody. She should have wished everybody to come up from whatever level he or she was in to the next level. Yeah? She strived to have the best for everybody. Yeah? That is what I'd remember her for. She would have preferred everybody to be uplifted in the standards of living from whatever level to the next one. Yeah. That is so much for our late mother. May her soul rest in eternal peace. As far as his legacy is concerned, I think Mzee Opondo, he believed that everybody should get a good education, and he believed that nothing comes easy. There's only one way. There's only one way that he believed in, and that is through the door of education, the best education possible. That is what would open for you ways in future. That's how I would remember our late parents. May Mzee Opondo's soul also rest in eternal peace, just like our mother.
I've prayed a lot so that I can release him. Because I know as a Christian, that is the way we all will end. He's in a better place, in a more peaceful place. But he has left me in a place where I can take care of myself with the education I have, with the discipline he showed me. I am able to take care of myself and my family because of him. I am indebted to my late brother, for his love was unswerving, equal to nothing, to none. And each and everybody knows in our big home, the Kungu family, that my love, his love for me, is unequaled. If it were possible, and I see him back today, I would still say hallelujah. But as a Christian, I let him go, and I pray that my loving father and brother, I will get to see you one more time when my time comes. We love him in my house, in my home. He called my husband his brother. He never called him a brother-in-law. He said, he's my son and my brother. So that love extended to my family and my children. May God rest his soul in eternal peace. Amen.
E seche ma koro wachopeni, wabiro kaka koro chunywa oselendo, waseyie nowewa, to pod wanie dalawa. Kata kowewa kamano, to pod wanie dalawa, nikech dala pod nitie, Kungu pod nitie modong' kar Francis Opondo. Ma e gima dawach kuom wadwa.
Well, I would just like to say they should continue to keep watching over us, all of us, guiding us, and we love them both. Yes.
I believe and I know I borrowed everything from them in terms of being disciplined in what I do. I follow through, made me who I am today. And I think it's made me a great mom and a wife. I've also learned to be very loving and caring to my siblings, to my relatives, my nephews and nieces. And I've learned to give back to the community, because without the community supporting you, you are nothing. You are nothing. Yes. What I saw, my mother was so selfless. Even when in her days that she retired, she was somebody who gave back to the community. And she genuinely cared for people, and she gave out. And she would never overlook anything. Anybody in need, she had a big heart, and she was a giver. So that is one thing I pray, even I would emulate, that I should be there for somebody. I should be a giver. I learned that from her. And she had deep love for God. So that is one thing that I believe her home is founded in God. So as for Dad, the legacy, Dad gave out his life for all, and Dad really, even to the community, Dad gave so many people jobs. Dad was a caring mzee, and he arbitrated in very many issues, family and even non-family people. He was somebody, a pillar people would come to consult with. And mostly, if you wanted to make decisions, not just as family members, even the villagers, even other people, they would come and consult, because Dad had a lot of wisdom. So I believe that is a legacy he left behind. And our prayer is that we all tapped into it and learned from that.
I love you even to death, Dad. Wherever you are, feel loved. And I know when I finish my battle, we will meet once again, Daddy. Continue resting with the angels and flying with the angels. I can't, if I was to talk about you, I could take the whole day and even years and even days. I can't explain how much I love. I'm missing you, Daddy. Wherever you are, feel loved.
Ever since our grandmother died, like in 1992, he has always been like our grandfather and our grandmother. So he has been the epitome of strength and resilience. I think for me, those are the three major parts that I will always have in my heart. And I hope we're able to like pass that to our kids as well. And we're able to like, you know, share the wisdom that we got from him throughout the years, because we really learned a lot. Yeah.
I just wish that he could come back, but he can't come back. But I want to just tell him I'll never forget him, and I love him. I learned from him to care about people, love your enemies, even if they just disturb you, just love your enemies. And whenever I'm scared or anything, I be free to tell my parents or my great grandfather.
Francis was a staunch Christian. He used to support the church. But one thing that I thank God for him, he was concerned with the church programs, and he could invite me and advise me as an old man. I thank God for him. He was a good man, he was a God-fearing, and I thank God for him. I would advise, what I would support, what I would share with the siblings, to be united as a family, to serve God, to work hard in church, and to support God's ministry.